Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. I'm going to show you how to change your master cylinder and your brake booster in a 2006 Toyota Tundra. This is similar to my 2004 double cab sitting over there, but this does not have the vehicle stability control. It's a little bit easier to work on this one, but we have an issue with this booster and master cylinder, and I'll give you a quick backstory to explain what's going on here. So I was just talking to a friend the other evening, and he mentioned that his truck brakes were acting up, or that he was losing brake fluid and couldn't figure out where it was going. So I went over, took a look, and I said it's got to be leaking somewhere. Looked up here, didn't see any leaks, and took a look on the inside of each wheel, and lo and behold, this side here, evidence of brake fluid leaking. So I thought, well, that's pretty easy, you know, no big deal, change out the wheel cylinder. During that job, I noticed these drums were actually recently replaced. They're all rusty now. They're probably aftermarket. They don't come painted or anything, and they just, you know, they rust pretty quick. But I noticed that the shoes were also brand new. And he said, oh yeah, we had some brake work done, but that's the second guy we had taken it to. So I thought, you know, maybe they had accidentally disturbed that wheel cylinder and caused it to leak. That does happen. He said, oh no, yeah, they did do the brakes recently, but losing the fluid has been going on for a long time. And so I thought to myself, well, there's no way that somebody would do the shoes and the drum without changing that wheel cylinder if it were leaking. And he said, no, it's been leaking brake fluid for years and no one has been able to find out where it's going. And I guess they've had it to a few different shops, and they've just said, yeah, we don't know where it's going. Level sensor would indicate that there was no brake fluid. They would add brake fluid. Never dripped on the driveway, never leaked anywhere. And I think even that wheel cylinder issue might have been kind of new, but that's fixed now. So while we were doing the wheel cylinder and getting that swapped out, while we were bleeding, I noticed a very distinct sloshing sound coming from the brake booster. Let me see if I can duplicate the sound for you, so just stand by. I'm gonna go step on the pedal a few times. I got to reading on some of the forums, more than a few people have had brake fluid leak out of the master cylinder into the booster. And then if it fills up, it gets to be an excessive amount, it's probably coming out of here, getting sucked into the intake and burning. This truck doesn't smoke or anything like that, so it might not happen, you know, all the time, or it might not be that noticeable. So if this were something that, you know, was caught quickly and, you know, just kind of sudden, you could clean this out, no big deal, rinse it out, and probably be okay. Maybe take the booster out and dump it out. Because this has been going on for a long time, I didn't even think it was worth risking. The inside of this booster is probably damaged beyond cleaning or beyond repair. If it were my truck, since I'm cheap, I might have just gone to a junkyard and found a used one. But being that it's not mine, and it's brakes, you know, I just didn't want to take any risks, so I recommended they get a new booster along with the new master cylinder. And that's pretty much the reason I'm changing out both. I just wanted you to know why I'm doing both. Normally, you know, if your master cylinder is leaking, you just replace that. I'm going to disconnect the negative battery terminal here in hopes that we don't get any error codes. I don't have a fancy scan tool. All I've got is just little code readers. So I don't have the ability to reset any major ABS codes if we do get them. If we do, we'll have to take it into Toyota or to another shop and have them clear those for us. But I'm just going to see if we can eliminate that by disconnecting the negative terminal here. All right, now we can disconnect the level sensor, and you do that just by pressing this in and wiggle that out. Just kind of tuck that down here out of the way. You can see I've got a bunch of rags and paper towels underneath here so we don't make a huge mess. Just take the cap off here. It's got this little strainer piece here too. And we're just gonna suck the brake fluid out with this little syringe. We're still gonna make a big mess here, I'm sure, but this will at least minimize it. All right, in case we tip this sideways, I'll just put that lid back on. All right, now I'm gonna disconnect this hose right here. Slide that hose off. Now we only need to disconnect 3 lines here. It's this one here in the front, this one right here, and then the one underneath right there. And I'm gonna use this flare nut wrench or line wrench. The master cylinder is attached to the booster just by these 2 12mm bolts, one on either side. And the new one comes already put together, but I think it's just gonna be a little bit easier to manage if I separate them and just pull out the master cylinder first and then remove the booster. So let's go ahead and just loosen and remove these lines here. I've got these little vacuum caps that they're used for miscellaneous plugs. I just thought if this will work, I could just pop that on there. There we go. That's just a little rubber cap, and I think that will, at least it'll help cut down on the leaking, and or it may even make it easier to bleed. And then the last one is this bottom one. There we go. Same thing, just kind of drop that down. These will bend real easy, but you don't want to bend them too much, and they won't line back up. With the new master cylinder, if I can put a cap on that one there too. All right, now we need to loosen and remove these two nuts here. They're 12 millimeter, and that's what holds this in place or attaches it to the booster. Set those aside. I don't think we'll need those because the new one comes with the new nuts. All right, then just make sure that the lines down here are clear. And we should be able to pull this off. Let's set this aside. Well, there's your problem. See, if I shake the truck a little bit, you can see that fluid in there moving around. That's because this booster is completely full. I can see the fluid right up to the very top right there, right up to this opening. That's where all that fluid was going. You know, he's got a hard pedal too. This booster is of course not working the way it's supposed to since it's full of fluid. We'll get that pulled out here next. Our booster is connected by this pin here. So we need to pull this out, this pin. Just pull it straight out. Then we should be able just to push that pin through. Like so. Two nuts on this side and two on this side, and that's what hold the booster in place. Those are 12 millimeter. I'm just using an extension with a wobble end. Number two. And now that should just pull out from the other side. I just stuffed a bunch of rags or paper towels inside here to prevent this from dumping fluid everywhere. I am glad that I did this in two parts here. It's a little bit more manageable. I'm just also trying to do this without bending these lines in the front too much. There it is. And then just got to get it up. Kind of tuck the brake lines down underneath. And there it is. And you can feel it is full of fluid. Let's go take this and dump it out. I guess if you're in a pinch, you could probably just clean this out and try to use it, but I wouldn't recommend that. By the way, brake fluid is very corrosive, so just be mindful when you're draining that or doing this. If you spill any on the paint, make sure you wipe it off. It'll eat your paint. This part is longer, sticks out a little bit more, so we just want to make sure that we match that to the other side. I just had to flip this one around so that it's the same. And then as far as the extension, they're about the same right now, and of course we can adjust that to make sure we've got enough free play in our pedal. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to install this as one piece. It's really not that heavy without fluid in it. And then what we'll do is we'll basically bench bleed it while it's on the truck. So this has got caps down there at the bottom and on here on the side, and I'm going to leave it that way, and then just use my fingers while we fill it with fluid. Before we connect the hydraulic lines, we'll get it all hooked up, and then I'll just use my fingers to kind of plug that, and then have somebody help me do a quick bench bleed, get all the air out of the master cylinder, and then we'll hook up the lines to make sure we're not pushing too much air through there. Now you might be asking, why don't I just take this apart and put the booster on and then put the master on like I took it off? Well, this is empty, it's a little bit lighter, and the clearance there really wasn't too bad. It's already got that O-ring kind of pressed in there too. I just don't really want to mess with it. I think I'm just going to leave it alone. This also already comes with this new paper gasket here on this side, and we're just going to install it all just like it is, already in one piece. Just going to wipe down the firewall here real quick where that paper gasket connects. That's just to keep stuff from getting in the cab. Then we'll just drop this in place. Okay, I'm not pressing this all the way in. I'm going to go down underneath and make sure that we can line up that shaft. So I have the camera sitting on the brake pedal here, so you're going to see it move, but this is the pin. And now that I have this pushed back towards the firewall, I can just take this pin, push down a little bit on the brake pedal to line it up, and there it is, all the way through. And then we can put this little cotter pin back in there. This isn't too hard to get to, but I'm just using some needle nose to help guide it in. Like so. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and get each of these started on the bolts for the booster. All right, there we go. Go ahead and tighten those. I just went in and made sure that I was able to push it flush up against the firewall, and then we'll tighten these the rest of the way. They're all tight. Now, I don't know what the torque spec would be on these, but I'm just kind of going by feel based on their size. We're gonna have to double check our free play in the pedal right now. Actually, we might have just the right amount of free play right there. All right, and then this has got just a plug over the line here. That's easy enough. And then we can reconnect the fluid level sensor right here on the side. That just clicks right in. The hydraulic lines are not connected yet, but we're gonna do what we call a bench bleed. I'm gonna do it on the car. All right. Okay, so you see this comes with a lot of these little caps, these three little caps over these three ports, these two down here and then this one in the front. And I'm just gonna pull those out and put my fingers over each of these ports. Then I've got someone sitting inside. So basically I'm just gonna hold my finger over there while they press down and then push it tightly so the air doesn't come back in when they let up. So go ahead and push down slowly. Okay, let up. Okay, again. Okay, let up. Again. All right, let up. All right, so we've got pressure now out of every port. I don't have any more bubbles coming out of here. So I'm gonna pull off these little caps now and just try to get these all started. Bent them a little bit out of the way. Just make sure you don't cross thread those when you get them started. I knew this bottom one would be the toughest, but if we can get it in there, get it started, at least get those threads started, we'll be all right. Now that might be a little closer. Ah, that might be it right there. Give it a few more turns here. There we go. So this bottom one, of course, was the hardest. Just kind of had to bend it back where it was to get it to line up. When we bench bled this, it was just to get all the air out of the master cylinder. And I was trying to not let a whole lot of air get into these lines here too. We might be able just to crack these and bleed out whatever air is here in the highest point, and then we also need to bleed at each wheel there too. Just gonna get these all tightened up for now. Fill up our reservoir here. We leaked out quite a bit of fluid just messing with that bottom connection there. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Pedal down, go ahead. Okay, up. All right, down. Okay, up. All right, go ahead and pump them up. So I've just got a little 10mm wrench on here. She's holding it. I'll loosen that. And we get clear fluid coming out. Now this is the rear LSPV, or load sensing proportioning valve. It's one more place that you need to bleed on these trucks. So go ahead and pump it up. Doing the right front now. Just finishing up here with our left front. All right, just make sure that's snug and we're good. All right, I'm gonna give a quick rinse to this area. I had a lot of rags down, but we did get some fluid everywhere, so I'm just gonna rinse that down. You wanna rinse any of this brake fluid down. It does eat the paint, and we splattered some over here too while we were bleeding it. Behind each wheel too. This wheel's still pretty coated with brake fluid, but still give that a quick rinse. This is a little bit different than most. This has got this little third chamber here on the master cylinder with this additional bleeder port. And there's a very specific way that the factory service manual says you're supposed to bleed this. It says first bleed the chassis, then the master, and then the chassis again. And what they're saying is you bleed the chassis, meaning you bleed each wheel, starting normally with your right rear, right front, left front. But we also have the load sensing proportioning valve. I'm not sure on the exact order there, so don't quote me on that. But after that, then it says you need to bleed this. But the way to bleed this is really unique. It says to open both this and the chassis at either a caliper or a wheel cylinder at the same time. And so we need to just put another tube on here. So it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but a lot of the comments said just follow the factory service manual and it will work. So when I was trying and messing around with this truck before changing this master cylinder, I was wondering about how to bleed this, because by doing it the traditional way of stepping on the brake pedal, pumping it up, we weren't getting anything out of it at all. But that's because we weren't doing it the right way. It says we're supposed to start the truck, front left caliper. I've got a tube on that. I haven't opened it yet, but it says to open that and then pump 3 times and then open this while holding the brake pedal down. We'll see if that works. We'll see if we get anything out of there. And then after doing this, after you only get fluid, no more air, it says you can repeat this a few times. Then you go back and you bleed the chassis again, which hopefully we'll just have to bleed this front left, but we'll know here in a minute. All right, now I'm just gonna reconnect the battery. Everything is all connected. So I've opened the bottom one, so go ahead and press 3 times and hold it down. We'll crack this and see what happens. There we go. Okay, let it up. It actually worked. Before we got nothing out of there, and you can see there's some foamy stuff here, a little bit of air in that. Okay, let's do it again. Press it down 3 times and hold it. That looks a lot better. Okay, let it up. We're gonna do it one more time. So press it down 3 times and hold it. There we go. That's clean and clear. Nice. We got it to work that time and got some air out of there. So again, the moral of the story is read the instructions and follow them, I guess, which I don't normally do. We got some air out of there. It's exactly what I was hoping to see. Now we need to re-bleed our front. Hold it. Really no air made its way back through, which is good. Just got back from a test drive and huge improvement. Brakes feel so much better now. These trucks are not known for having very good brakes, but this thing it's locking it up almost. I can hear the tires kind of chirping as I go to stop before the ABS kicks in. I went out and tested the ABS on a dirt road as well. It does cycle and it does its thing as well. So everything looks good, no leaks. Hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. I'll get a link in the description to the part, and also I'm just gonna include a screenshot here real quick. This is the factory service manual that I found, and it shows the order of how to do this and how to bleed it. I'm glad that someone else posted that. I may even put this video at the end of that forum just to be helpful. It's all done, ready to get back on the road. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck.